One, two, 1, 2. We are back in the building. What's the podcast? Close to zero is the name of the episodes. We're gonna just continue to say that close to zero. We're gonna remind you at 9:50 when you're close to almost getting cut off this joint, and you need to sign up for that Patreon. Okay, Patreon.com/ What's the podcast.
Yeah.
DJ Jerome Baker the third. I am here. Shout out to my guy, always available. Hashtag She or Eddie. And Abdul.
What's up, man? Street Eddie is, he's out on a South American tour or something,
Listen, you do those things when you're in when you're married. You know what I'm saying? That's just the type of life that you live,
I mean, listen, I'm married. I don't live that type of life. But Street Eddie got that old money, you know what I'm saying? He's
not to put people's business out there. Like, you have family members that are on vacation on a Wednesday night, and sometimes you're in New York on a Thursday morning, so you never know.
That's true.
It happens.
He's back in Costa Rica, and I think Street Eddie he's got a couple of cribs out there.
I'm about to say, I feel like it's a real estate trip.
Yeah, sure. He's doing it big across the board, man. So shout out to our guy, man. We miss you, brother. See you when you get back. He's gone for a minute too. I think he's missing. He's out next week as well.
Next week we will not have Shira Egg, but we will have a cast of characters next week. It's already. I already have a couple. We don't want to say replacement. We just want to say we're going to have
a fill-in.
No, we're going to have guests. We're going to have guests de jour.
Okay.
De jour. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have more than one guest next week. So it'll be just. Next week's the one you really want to tap in with us. It's going to be high level conversation.
Yeah.
And so it should be very, very, very special.
What are we talking about? Israel Palestine, or?
Well, that's already part of our normal decree.
I thought the guest wanted to have a discussion.
Oh no, our high level conversation.
Is not that guest.
Our high level conversations. No, it's not that guest.
I don't know if that guest wants any smoke.
That guest has joined though. That guest is a free member. I looked through it earlier today. That guest is a free member. So
shout out to the guests. Man.
Shout out to the guests. Okay. We want to obviously have everybody is comfortable and welcome here. What's the podcast?
Of course.
There are only a few things, probably less than 5, that would just automatically disqualify you from.
Trump. Would you get Trump on the podcast? Would you want Trump to be a guest on the podcast?
Absolutely not.
Would you want a racist? A KKK member on the podcast?
Maybe because I would like to hear their perspective.
You would?
Yeah,
I would. I think the only reason I'd be okay with having that guest on is just to shit on them.
I mean, at some point that's going to happen, but I feel like what I want to do is I want to hear that part in your life where you became an absolutely piece of crap. Like, oh, you were 15, you got jumped by 3 black guys. Oh, your girlfriend, you got left for a black guy. Those are the things that happen. You know what I'm saying?
And then you just use that against them and clown the shit out of them.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna clown you. I'm sunning you.
So I mean, it's very few instances which you're just gonna automatically. But I don't know. We'll get to that point one day in our wonderful podcast life. We're just beginning. Patreon.com/ What's the podcast. We want to shout out and thank everybody who continues to join the podcast.
Yes.
We don't want to call it a Patreon army yet. That's a little corny, but we're moving in the direction.
You just called it that.
No. That's like some Joe Budden stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's like Joe Budden. Like, it's like a whole world of you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Ian Drummond.
Listen, shout out to Ian Drummond. Shout out to Hiram Santiago.
Oh, okay.
Shout
out to him.
Shout out to the homegirl Izzy Holmes.
Shout out to Shorty who you were telling me dropped off the Patreon.
Yes, so we have.
Yeah. Shout out to her too.
And listen, you can hear this part now. This part is free. You know what I'm saying? We had our first canceled membership of the podcast, and this one hurt. This one hurt a little bit. I feel like
she was a friend of yours, or is a friend of yours.
I mean, the friendship's definitely on pause. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh my god.
like what do you mean? Like, it's $5, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe 10.
Rome is out here taking this shit personally
I'm
for
a
real.
rider. I'm a
I
rider.
get
You
it.
know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, think about it. The $10 a month you spend listening to this quality, educated podcast, and we're just getting rolling. We haven't even gotten to our secondary content yet. If you're
Mm,
lucky, you caught our GZ content yesterday on the platform.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That was
Okay.
the photos of us and GZ at Tiny Desk are only available on the Patreon.
Went
Um,
viral.
the $10 you spent, that's investing in yourself. That's not going
Yeah.
to
It's not going to
Chick-fil-A.
waste.
No, it's not
No,
going
and
to it's not going to Chick-fil-A.
fam, you gonna get the scientific all day.
You can't even get a meal at Chick-fil-A for $10 anymore.
Yeah.
The
So this
average,
is less than a Chick-fil-A meal.
but it's knowledge God though. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
God body right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we just had to let the world know that if you ever cancel your membership, you will be allowed to hear our feedback on it in the first 10 minutes of the following episode. You know what I'm
We're gonna
saying?
shit on you.
We're just gonna speak about you. We're not gonna shit on you necessarily. We're
Yeah.
going to let the world know that you've made a mistake and there's always a chance to rejoin. So hit that follow button, patreon.com/what's a podcast.
Yeah.
But it's been a fantastic week. Our last episode was tremendous. Shout out to our guy Pierre. Pierre was just he really did a great job on the show. I think that the feedback from his episode was tremendous, and I think that he may or may not be one of the people that's back next week. We'll see. You see what
Yeah,
I'm
that's true.
saying?
Pierre actually needs to come back because I realized that there's a few things about his career wise. I think a lot of people that also listen to our podcast, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of them are from within the creative space and have aspirations to become creative directors like us and Pierre. and I feel like maybe we did not touch on that aspect of his life a whole lot because I mean, things like what he's done with for example Wale's show at the Kennedy Center, and Pierre had a large part in playing with a big part in the visuals of that show, and a lot of other things and clothing lines that he's been a part of, and a lot of other design stuff that we did not get to talk about. But yeah, Pierre is going to be back, and we're definitely going to tap into that side of the conversation a lot more. What's up with you, man? How was the weekend?
The weekend was tremendous. See, 18th Street Lounge, I played Friday night. Again, body that. It's a 5-hour set, people. So I'm really getting that popping.
Yeah.
Saturday night, I played at Society out in Silver Spring. Again, just getting back to the turn up. The African Afro beats records are great. And
Shout out
just
to the Africans.
yeah, shout out for sure. And just like getting the urban side of DJing back really rocking, just keeping things balanced, I'll say. You know what I'm saying?
African
I
Cup of Nations, we in the building.
started my homeboy, actually our homeboy,
Okay.
Silas Grant, started
Oh yeah.
started a challenge.
Oh, we talked about that last week.
Yeah,
Are you
but
in it?
so it's 100 miles, walking 100 miles in a month. We are 7 days into the month of February, and I'm at 30 miles already. So if I keep this pace up, 31 miles. My friend told me today, I should be able to be there like the 24th, 25th of
Okay.
of
February.
February. Yeah, for sure. It's 28 days in a month, so you got to go a little crazy. So
29 actually.
29 or even better. So let's say it was Tuesday yesterday. I only did like 2.5 miles.
Yeah.
I was just like, I just need like a break, like a rest day. You know what I'm saying? Today came back through with 6 on them. You feel what I'm saying? So I had to make up for what I didn't finish yesterday, and then add a little spice on top. So,
Where is
it
he at in the competition? Are you checking his stats as well?
oh
He's
yeah,
probably
yes.
already hit. He's probably close to hitting 100.
No, 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 no. He's under like right under 40 actually, and I'm at
Okay.
30.
Oh,
No,
you're right on him. Right on his
yeah.
back. Pause.
Am I 34? Something like that. All I know is that we're not too far apart, but I know that he's going to
He's
go.
consistent with it.
But it's teaching me you got to be consistent.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now, it's 10 o'clock. I'm tired. I've been going to bed at like
Yeah.
9 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm tired too.
I go to bed at 9. My kid wakes up at 6:15. I take her to school, and then by the time I take her to the bus stop. So by the time we're at the bus stop, 7:45. I'm walking from 7:45 until 9:30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like still continuing with the day. You know what I'm saying? See whatever I have to handle. What I have to handle on my side. Excuse me. And this is important to me. I want to get this done. Next month, I've made a goal to do 2 a days, 5 days a week in the month of March. It's definitely going to take a lot. I mean, it's going to take a lot, but I mean, basically, it's like doing 75 hard again. You know what I'm saying? But like last time, I didn't last 75 hard at all. Like that pause, like that was like maybe 10 days out of 75, which is terrible.
Yeah.
But my homie in Georgia's doing it right now, and he's going crazy. So, that was a good part of the weekend, man. And I worked at the shop, and now I'm actually off from the shop from now until maybe another week, 2 weeks.
Nice. Okay.
I got some weekend travel going on, DJing. Next week's a crazy week. Again, patreon.com/what's the podcast. I think Friday we're going to install the tier. And
Okay.
that tier will be the one that will grant you access to the event that Abdul and I are partaking in
Oh yeah. Next week Saturday, we're in the
next week
building.
Saturday.
We'll
Oh,
talk
and
about it next week.
yeah, and also real quick, I went to the Suns Wizards game
How was
Sunday
that?
with my homeboy Marcus. Marcus from Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then and Bella, you know what I'm saying? Because she's a rider. She's right there with me. And it was tremendous. Suns win. As long as Suns win, you know what I'm saying? We wasn't tripping.
What sneakers did D Book have on?
His own, you know what I'm saying?
So,
Like
what color were they? Do you remember?
the ones that are actually dropping soon because they had the all white uniform. So the ones that are on
Okay.
sneakers right now is the ones that he was wearing.
All right.
And
People are shitting on the shoe, man.
they don't like the look of it. I can understand it. It looks like
It's one of my more favorable basketball sneakers. I prefer that one over to a lot of ugly stuff that's out there.
I think if you're a basketball player, the number one shoe you want right now is anything Kobe. Right? Anything Kobe is what you want as a basketball player. Number two, a lot of male basketball players are actually wearing the Sabrina Ionescu Nikes. It's a women's
What
shoe.
about the GT cut? That's another one.
So the GT Cut 3 is okay, but they're not loving it. They're actually wearing that like fourth or fifth. So you've got the Kobe's, the Sabrinas, you've got the KDs. A lot of players are wearing the KDs.
Nice.
Yeah, KDs are solid. There's another shoe out there. I forget the word, not the Giannis, but somebody else. And then the GT
Giannis
Cut
joins
is
his eye too. He's African. We're gonna support him always.
I would love if Giannis had better looking shoes, but it is what it is, right?
I think this is time before we carry on the conversation. What do you think? Should we just hop over to Patreon?
We're gonna hop over to Patreon. As you hear that air horn, bear, it'll be a much better. Yeah, we'll use a better one.
Peace.
That means your free trial is over, people. Okay, Patreon.com. If you're a Patreon rider, if you're part of General Release, if you're part of I Know the DJ, or if you're a part of I forget the name of I Know the DJ. Yeah, the big body or the list. The list is the big body one. Then we're good. We're in a good place. Shout out to Richard Bird. Richard Bird
Our
upgraded
guy.
upgraded their membership from general release to the list.
I love it.
Also, we have to give a shout out to our guy Mark. Uh, Mark, I forget your social media handle, Mark, but you know who you are. You're our guy, man. You're a sneaker guy. You've been around forever. My 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 vacuum was tripping. My man Mark was like, "Yo, I work with vacuums all day long. I work with Dysons all day long. He's
Oh
like,
shit.
I'll get your vacuum situated. Just let me know."
That's fire.
You know what I'm saying? I ended up actually kind of fixing it through some YouTube videos, but just the fact that my man looked out was a beautiful thing. So,
Yeah.
as we roll into the 16-minute mark, the
Well,
Patreon
hey,
mark.
I want to say this actually before we hop over to Patreon. Silent Time just informed us a couple of days ago that we cannot gift Patreon, which was actually something I wanted to do. And I think,
We
Rome,
did.
you
Yeah.
wanted to gift Patreon to some of our more loyal listeners from the free side that we wanted to bring over just because out of love.
Yeah.
And that is not a thing. You cannot gift Patreon to anyone. Motherfuckers got to pay. Sorry. We tried.
We tried. People, we put forth a really good effort. And
Yeah.
Tom did the research. Tom did the knowledge, as well as Abdul did the knowledge too, and just
Yeah.
informed us that you can't do that. So again, we will be making the free tier and the $5 tier a bit more worthwhile. You know what I'm saying? It might be, that free tier might still say 10 minutes though. I can't front. Like, we giving y'all 235 plus episodes. Like, brothers got bills out here. Okay. The $5 tier, I think definitely is going to get some upgrades. And, obviously if you're in the 10 or the $20 tier, there's going to be some real life opportunities, as well. Both next week's opportunity and the big situation we got going down in April. So, at this point, we're going to say welcome to Patreon. Shout out to everybody who what I'm saying, gets that monthly little check. It's an investment in yourself. Okay, just look at it that way.
Yes.
Report it to your girl. It's an investment to yourself. When she falls asleep and you're trying to stay focused on the drive home, you know what you're putting on.
Tap
You
in.
know what I'm saying?
Tap in.
Tap in. Abdul, can you let us know what your weekend was hitting for?
Oh man, that's a good question. My weekend was actually full of volleyball, bro. I was at a volleyball tournament for my kid that was in Baltimore on Saturday as well as Sunday. And when I tell you I am not built for this kind of dedication as a parent, because we had to be at that motherfucker at 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And so that means downtown Baltimore is an hour away from here. We left here at 6 to get there by 7, and we're there pretty much all day. Came home, ran it back again on Sunday. And yeah, man, that was essentially it, bro. That was it. That was my weekend. I was, yeah, I did nothing else. That was it.
Let me
I was
ask you
chilling.
this. Let me ask you this
Yeah.
because I grew up doing that. That was like, from the ages of probably 13 and 17. That was,
You went to weekend tournaments?
oh yeah, of course. For basketball, of course. Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
basketball. Okay.
Did you not grow up with
No,
with those weekend activities? Okay, yeah. So
no.
for
For one, so I was actually I was looking at this and I thought about my parents while I was there, because one thing you fail to realize is the amount of money that's involved in getting your kids into these sort of activities, right? This is not just going out and playing with your friends. This is real organized tournaments that there's a lot of money behind. I grew up in a poor household, where sports were not really a priority because, one, they were really expensive to be a part of. Two, I grew up in West Africa where if we wanted to play sports, we would just go outside and play on our own. And and three, my parents were just like, this shit is not for you. You need to be focused on your books, right? So this was never a thing that was of any importance to my childhood. And also, I moved here at like 15, right? So I was already, a junior in high school where I was in my last 2 years, and I played soccer for school, and that was it. Like there was no like club team and none of that sort of stuff. But one thing I realized how much money there is behind this, but I also realized that volleyball is kind of a forgotten sport when you think about so many other sports that have their own sneakers. Like I think volleyball is just kind of left in the mix, bro. There are no nice looking volleyball sneakers out there.
Well, I mean, from a sneaker perspective, I definitely don't think volleyball generates the revenue or the income or the attention that
Okay.
sneaker creators are looking for, unfortunately. So,
I
they have
will
to
tell
make
you just today, Rome, they just dropped some Nike pickleball sneakers.
pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the country.
It's also whack as fuck. That
I'm,
sport is
I
able
don't,
to have signature sneakers for it. And what I saw on feet around that volleyball tournament was a lot of KDs, bro.
I think,
KDs are the shoe or choice for young women who are playing volleyball.
which is beautiful. But I
It's
think,
beautiful.
but
Yeah.
Nike has an investment with pickleball because LeBron has an investment in a pickleball league. Like LeBron owns like this. I'm sorry, LeBron has like a significant investment in like the second biggest pickleball league in the world or something like that. So I'm pretty sure
Pickleball
that's why.
sucks.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you, bro. I'm just giving you the context so you
Yeah.
understand, right?
Okay. I think
Now
I think
the thing
I think
I do
Nike or Under Armour should holler at us, man. Let's design this shit for y'all, man. Let's make this shit hot.
here's
We
the
can
thing.
make some fire volleyball sneakers.
Here's the thing. I think people realize that at a high school, middle school, high school level, women's volleyball is incredible. It's just as uh, you have to be just as involved with that as you have to be with basketball, as travel ball. Like what I'm
Yeah.
saying. My mom did it for 6 years where she had no weekends
Did
and
you
some
have you thanked your mom recently
all
and
the time.
also apologized for not going pro? It was
I
a waste
mean,
of time.
it was
You never
no, it
went
was not. It
pro.
was not a waste. It
You
was
never
very
went pro.
much. It would help our
She
development
never
very
got
much.
a return on her investment.
My mother loves me at my 5'8" frame, regardless, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
but
But at
there's
the end
shit
of the
she
day,
wanted to do on those weekends.
maybe, but my mom doesn't. My mom is the most selfless person ever. She's
I
incredible.
love it.
So,
All our mothers are. It's
but
amazing.
but but
I'm not.
you'll see it though.
Yeah.
Like it gets extremely competitive between
Yeah.
the fans, the moms, the players. Like, whoever sits the bench on your daughter's volleyball team might not be on that team next year
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
their kids not getting any shots. So they're like, yo, I want to go to a team where my daughter can actually play.
Yeah.
What's the point of doing all that driving and your daughter's not playing? Like, what are we teaching? You know what I'm saying? And I'm also, I mean, Isabella hasn't reached that level yet. I'm not sure if she will because she's into different things. But I don't, and this is something that I'm interested to hear from a lot of our listeners and yourself included as well. So we'll put a poll up with this. But I'm not one for participation trophies. Like,
Yeah. No, I'm not either. I'm not
this
either.
is not, this is not a, hey guys, you did a good job. Everybody gets a trophy. Let's slap fives and eat peanut butter and jelly sandwich. No. We're coming to win. We're teaching win. Life is about winning. Life, you don't get a participation trophy.
Yeah.
Like if you don't participate in life, you got to get a second job. Like that's what you have to do. You have to continue to go.
I'm also you know, I'm also a very strict parent. Like I don't want to say, I'll put it to you like this. When I see something happening, a play or somewhere where my daughter fucked up on a play, I make sure I remember that play. I write down on my notepad in my on my phone what she did wrong and when she did it, and then I talk to her about it after the game. You know, her mother is a little bit more lenient and feels like, feelings should be considered and things like that. And I agree. I do think feelings should be considered. However, I think it's also important for us to point out where things can be remedied and fixed, where a mistake was made. You know what I'm
If
saying?
if we're keeping score, there are no feelings. That's how I feel. If we're
Agree.
keeping score, if we're driving an hour back and forth, if we're doing all, if we're there's no, the only feeling we need is victory. We are not here to learn about the equality of the game. Life isn't equal. We're not here to
Yeah.
learn about the fairness of the game. Life is not fair. Boo boo. We are here for one thing and one thing only: pure domination.
Yo, and we on Patreon right now. My wife is not signed up, so we're gonna talk our shit. She is not signed up for Patreon. I'm about to open it all up. We're about to talk about this.
Yo, actually,
Let's
hold on.
go.
Let's double check that real quick. 'Cause I thought I
Oh
saw
yeah,
her.
check that. Check the stats.
I
Make sure
thought
she's not on.
I thought I saw her on a joint last week.
Shout out to my wife. No, but I do think there's a big void when it comes to um, volleyball sneakers, man. There's just such a big market there. And I was just looking around. There are no dope, actually, volleyball sneakers out there. Nike doesn't make anything that's nice looking. The shit that they do have, one, sells out immediately, even though they're ugly as fuck. So that just shows you only just because they're volleyball sneakers, they sell out immediately. They don't look good at all. Mizuno is a big volleyball brand. They're probably leading the way when it comes to volleyball sneakers for men and women. But yo, I think there's a big market there, man. We could really make some sort of impact with designing a shoe made for kids that play volleyball. Yeah, that was it, man. I think the weekend other than that was good. Ate some good food, and yeah, I was just chilling, bro. You know, yesterday was dope. We got to we got the call and got the invite to go see Jeezy at NPR's Tiny Desk. Shout out to the homie. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Carter, senior producer at NPR's Tiny Desk. Actually, Bobby was actually on Up Again podcast, which is also an NPR podcast on Sunday. If you don't listen to that, I listen to Up Again every morning on the car ride to drop my kids off at school. It's basically like a 15-minute recap of new big news events from the day before. It's a daily podcast, and I think it just helps with getting you up to speed on what's happening in life. You know what I mean? For me, I think NPR is one of the more trusted news platforms that I do listen to, and yeah, and I can listen to it. It's safe in front of my kids. I think it helps them maybe get some knowledge as well as to what's happening in their world and our world. And yeah, so he was a guest on the Sunday edition, sorry, of Up Again, and he talked about NPR Tiny Desk, and yeah, he bodied that shit. But it was great, man. We had a good time. Actually, sorry, our guest from last week, Pierre, also rolled with you, so we got to hang out over there. And shout out to all the homies we saw. Kurt from New Balance was in the building. Shout out to Nucci, man. Nucci, front porch. Come on the podcast, brother. You know what I mean? He was in there. What did you think? How do you think Jeezy did? How do you rate that on a scale of all the tiny desks you've been to?
It was a really good Tiny Desk. I thought Jeezy just did an amazing job with the crowd engagement. I think that he
Yeah.
was looking for crowd engagement, which is incredible. I feel like The crowd was very young. There was a large contingent of Howard University students in there, and
Yeah, they were actually doing some sort of tour for Howard students in there, and they got to join and check out Tiny Desk as well,
which
which
is
I
which
thought
is
was dope. Yeah,
amazing. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Shout out to Tiny Desk for hosting them because we know that Howard students don't really get it done. You know what I'm saying? So
God
nevertheless,
damn, this guy, yo.
second class
I would
citizens
just
right
like
there.
to remind our listeners that Jerome is only shitting on Howard because he went to Hampton, and
You
he
already
believes
know.
Hampton University is more superior. So it's a very
Yeah.
biased opinion of Howard University students.
Facts.
I'm sure
Facts.
those kids are great and they're doing amazing.
See, that's participation trophy talk
That
right
is a
there.
participation trophy. You're
It's
right.
like,
You're right. You're right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
trash is trash. You
Yeah.
feel me?
I take it
So,
back. I'm not sure of anything
there
those
we
kids
go.
are doing. Yeah.
There we go.
I
There we
don't know
go.
what they were up to at all.
But Jeezy was tremendous. I thought that
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It was just really cool, man, for everybody to be in there. Whether
It's a
you
very
went
mature Jeezy.
yeah, well, he's
Yeah.
older now. He's a best-selling author, which he reminded the crowd. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
New York
saying?
Times
He's
bestselling
New York
author.
Times best-selling author.
Yeah.
He's a father again. He's a divorced gentleman. So you know what I'm saying? He's at a different stage in his life that I think versus like if we got Jeezy 15 years ago, it would have been smoked out. It'd have been,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, he already had the Cortez on. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah. He was ready for
um,
action. Black
yeah, he
Cortez.
was. Yeah, he was about it. So I thought it was dope. I think you can't really lose with Tiny Desk, whether you get to see, a rap artist or an indie artist. This is probably my 10th Tiny Desk or something like
Oh,
that.
you're a
And it's just,
veteran.
yeah. I walk in the building and know what's up. You know what I mean? But at the
Damn.
same time, like I just enjoy that, and I enjoy the diversity that it brings. And like I think once the people see, because Pierre and I were speaking about it, and you can attest to this because you were there, but like he did go crazy, and
Yeah.
with the way he started it, like the live aspect of go crazy, I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is
Yeah.
incredible. Like this is not just a sample. I mean, it's just not like the instrumental playing. This is like a band breaking it down and like really, you know what I'm saying? They've been practicing this, so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
thought it
It
was
was
amazing.
all rehearsed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very well rehearsed. So shout out to Jeezy, man. Shout out to DJ Cousin B for what I'm saying, the invite. And just shout out to everybody who was there, man. I hope you had a good time. And hopefully there's many more in the future. I know there's some heavy hitters on the
Oh
way. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? But like I'm not dropping no names, but I'll be there. You feel me? So um
Yeah. I need to get invited to more, man. I need to. I've only been to two. I've been to this one, and the last one I went to was actually 6 years ago, bro. When we went to the Nas joint, and
we went to the night with our children. It was amazing.
it was amazing. And that one actually never ended up getting aired, so it makes it even more special because we were
Correct.
able to witness it in person and live.
Patreon.
Shout out to
No, I was about to say patreon.com/what's a podcast. Close
yeah,
to zero is the name of the episode. It is February. February means Black History Month.
Happy
Black History Month.
Month.
Yeah, for sure. I don't have anything specific, but Black History Month always brings out the best internet clips, the best memes, just the best sort of the funniest. The one that always circulates is there's a white girl. She's like just finished jogging, and she's just like, I'm jogging such and such. Why do I look so good or something? And the black guy walks by and he's like, F out the way, bitch. Don't you know it's Black History Month? And she just has
Oh
a
my
look. She
god,
just has a look on her face of pure horror.
it's an
Um,
absolute classic.
it's incredible. If you don't follow him, but you already should be following him, Jay Slayer during this month has just been incredible with the Black History Month.
Yeah, especially with the transition to Dr. Umar faces. It's incredible.
It's incredible. Jay Slayer is he's an internet gem. So please
He's the
make sure you're
master of
following him.
CapCut or something.
Yeah.
Like, matter of fact, Jay Slayer, if you're not on the Patreon, we're about to have a problem. You need to
we
be
were
on the
we were
Patreon
we were
star.
trying to have Jay Slayer as a guest host, but that didn't work, and so we're gonna figure out the free Patreon thing. We're gonna figure out everything so that everybody can share
Yeah.
gracefully in the message that we're delivering. So just Black History Month obviously also coincides with both the birthday of Jay Dilla, my guy who I listen to every single day. Today, Wednesday, February 7th, he actually would have been 50 years old. And I
Yeah.
believe today is the anniversary of Big Pun's passing.
Yes, the death of Big Pun.
Yeah,
Rest in
so rest
peace.
rest in peace, Big Pun, packing the Mac in the back of the act. You know what
Oof.
I'm saying?
You
Like
know?
just crazy with the
Yeah.
lyrics. And Dilla obviously is your favorite producer's favorite producer. Just incredibly, talented guy, and it's very Detroit. It's just an amazing producer,
You have Dilla
individual.
up there as one of your favorite producers?
I have a poster of Dilla in my living room. Like
Oh wow.
he is my North Star. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, I got one for you. More than Pharrell, because you're also a big NERD Pharrell,
yeah,
Virginia Beach.
yeah. Dilla more so because Dilla just
Maybe
twist.
Dilla was more for you in music, and Pharrell was more influential in lifestyle.
There that could be true. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a huge Neptunes fan as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but just the way, I mean, if you look at the beats that Dilla, like the Far Side stuff, the Tribe Called Quest stuff,
Mhm.
I mean, he did Vibrant Thing by Q-Tip, like at the last minute. Like, there's just so many, Donuts as an album, which also it's the anniversary of that today too. I believe it's the 18-year anniversary of Donuts. To me, it's one of the greatest albums of all time, and it's an instrumental. It's I listen to it every day. It's just on in my house. You know what I'm saying? So just that, you know what I mean? But I still love Primo. I still love Battle Cat. I still love obviously early Kanye stuff was amazing. DJ Quick. So there's so many different producers that I'm a huge fan of. But Dilla was definitely like that guy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
rest in peace, Dilla. And again, it goes back to my frustration and just overall hurt feelings about black men not making it to 50. You know what I'm saying? Like he passed away well before 50, unfortunately. And if you read his book, you kind of get an understanding of how there was like a misdiagnosis, and by the time they realized it was too late, and
Damn.
I went to George Washington University here in DC, was hosting a talk by the author. And mind you, I had went to two bookstores, found the book, and then ended up giving it, or like I think I gave it to one of my homies and I sold one to another one of my homies. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
I was just like, oh, I'll find it, and got
Yeah.
mine right there, and dude just gave us the breakdown about the book and about Dylan. It was just an amazing, his work with Doom. Obviously, I'm a big Doom fan as well. Mad Lib. So that whole sort of just cast of, that sound, those samples, all that kind of stuff. It's who I was, with the exception of the Neptunes in the early 2000s, kind of coming of age years for me. And so, even the music that I'm making now, we got some really good stuff on the way. We always have some sample drums or something. There's always a sample to just pay homage to those people that I grew up listening to. You know what I mean? So, um, but rest in peace, Dilla.
Rest in peace, Dilla. Rest in
Happy
peace, Big
birthday,
Pun.
Dilla. Rest in peace, Big Pun. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Doom, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/What's a Podcast. Um, so there was a large amount of just attention being
Okay.
thrown being thrown Jay-Z's way as a result of his
Grammy speech.
Grammy speech. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your feelings on the Grammy speech?
Um. Well, one, I want to say congratulations to Hope. I loved the fact that his daughter went up there with him, um, because I think that's something. If I was to receive an award like that, I would probably take both my kids with me as well. I think this one might have been more special. Actually, I don't know, because I was about to say this might be more special than actually winning it for a music project, but maybe that's not true, because I think when you make art like music, there's a strong chance that you've put blood, sweat, and tears into it, and getting congratulated at a stage like the Grammys is probably more fulfilling than getting this award, which was it was sort of like award that was presented by Dr. Dre, or it's a Dr. Dre award for just fucking being amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like Hove is more
It's
of
kind
our
of like a
close.
lifetime
Yeah,
achievement
lifetime
award. Yeah,
achievement,
yeah,
but
yeah.
in the music Grammy sense. So maybe it's just like an honor more than it is. It speaks to your whole career. Um, but yeah, Hove just went up there cool as a fan, man. He's still the coolest guy in the room. You know what I mean? You could just tell his tuxedo was on point with no actual real tux, just black. You know what I'm saying? And still cool as a fan. Yeah, I think he just went up and just freestyled a speech. Honestly, I think um, I don't know if there was anything super memorable about the speech, but I think it's just tight to hear Hove speak, because you know it's not like he's making music a lot these days, so we don't really get to see him a lot in the limelight. Um, but yeah, shout out to Hove, and of course his kid, and his wife, and yeah, it's dope. I was hoping he would bring the twins up on stage with him as well, because I
I
don't
don't
think
think
I've ever seen the twins.
I don't think they move in public too well yet. Still a little young, but I think the thing that I'll say about Hove's speech and the message.
Hmm.
Do we congratulate Hove on his message, but still persecute Kanye on his message? Because essentially, they're saying the same thing.
No, they're not.
Is it
Tell
just
me
the
what.
is it
Tell
just
me
the
what it was.
delivery?
What was it
You don't remember when Kanye got on stage and was like, "Yo, Taylor, I'm
about
gonna
the
let you
Taylor
do your
Swift? Yeah,
thing," but
yeah,
Beyonce is the greatest artist of all time.
yeah.
Is the message not the same?
What did Hope say that was similar to that, when he was like,
Oh,
some people don't belong in this category?
no, he actually broke down. He was like, when he was like, "Yo, he's like, this person has the most Grammys,
Yes.
but has the one album of the year." Like he's like, even by your own metrics, that doesn't make sense, right?
I, I, I'm
He's like,
gonna
I don't
give.
want
I'm
to.
gonna
He's like,
give. I'm gonna give Hope some pushback there. I didn't really agree with that statement.
well,
Did you agree with it?
I think it's true. I think she has the most Grammys of all time.
Right. But do you think just because she has the most Grammys, she deserves to also have a what, album of the year? Because is that the one? That's what he said, right?
Yeah, I think Renaissance was probably the album of the year.
I'm not saying she hasn't been shitted on for in that regards. However, I'm saying his statement was, because you have the most amount of Grammys, one of those Grammys should be for album of the year. I think that's what he was saying, right?
Well, I think also what it is, like some of those years she's won 3, 4, 5 Grammys in a year, right?
I agree.
How do you win 3, 4, 5 Grammys in a year but not have album of the year? Because at one point
Well,
in time, Aretha Franklin had the
mhm.
most Grammys of all time, and she never won album of the year.
Well, I'll tell you how. Because it depends what categories, and without knowing too much about Mrs. Carter's Grammy winnings and what categories they were for. But that's where you got to know, because some of these categories could be she could have won for a best video, she could have won for best lighting, she could have won for best loop in a production, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? It could have been really specific things. She could have won best single. Like, a single is also at the end of the day only one song, right? So I'm making some of these categories up, by the way. So I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
no. It's perfectly fine.
I'm
I
just
understand what
saying
you're saying.
that all of these categories can add up to a lot of number of Grammys that you have in your pocket. but maybe it doesn't necessarily add up to having in totality the best album of the year. I don't know.
Uh,
I'm
no,
just
I mean,
saying that's just an argument I'm making.
it's your point. It's a fair argument. It's your perspective. So there's no
Yeah.
like pushing and
And
pulling
please
on
let
what
me
you
know.
believe in.
Let us know. It is Black History Month, so you're right. Take it
So
all back. She should.
nah, you already defended the colonizers too
Nah,
well. You
nah,
know what I'm
yeah, you're
saying?
right. I did.
You
However,
you're a big Zion.
you big Zion. I will also say that the way that how that is so different from Kanye West's um, incident at the Grammys that one year was, first of all, he wasn't even supposed to be on stage. Oh, you were saying his message. You're saying the message was the same. Let me think about that. They said two different things. Kanye West's was his opinion that Beyonce had the best album. And Hove's statement was built around some analysis that he thought was applicable to her winning. I don't think it's really the same thing. I think Hove probably was just coming up with that on the top of his head, and he probably does think she she deserved to have an album of the year in one of those years. And I agree. Um, but I'm just saying that just because you have all these Grammys does not necessarily mean it equates to you having album of the year. That was my only pushback.
Listen, I hear you, and I disagree because if you have two, three, four Grammy
Mhm.
wins, that means at some
Yeah.
point in there, the totality of those should revolve around you having the best album. And if you truthfully look at the impact of Beyonce's album over the past
Mhm.
12 months, Taylor does not compare, right? Even like when
Is
we
that
look,
who she lost to? Taylor?
yeah, for sure.
Did,
When
how
you,
many other Grammys did Taylor have that? I would like to know that. Like
I,
if we're saying Beyonce had 5 Grammys that year and did not win Grammy album of the year, did Taylor also win 5 Grammys as well in other categories? You see what I'm saying? Because what if she also had 5, maybe 6 Grammys or somewhere around there for that same year for her project?
uh,
Now in competition.
I feel like she didn't win a lot.
Oh, that now we got a case. Then yeah, Beyonce has a big case there. To she should if because yeah, if I don't know, I
She
could be
has
contradicting
four.
myself.
Yeah, slightly because Taylor Swift has won album of the year 4 times.
That's crazy.
That's definitely not true.
Yeah.
Even now, listen, and this is a conversation that my friend she brought to my attention. She was like, "Yo, Taylor's has to be almost like an industry plant to some degree
Hmm.
because of all the white girl singers that let's
Yeah.
say we grew up on, right? We knew their music. We knew I'm a Slave for You by Britney Spears. We knew Christina Aguilera, even though she's Spanish, whatever. We knew all of Jessica's. We knew at least one song by all of these white girls. You know how many people, truthfully, music fans who are like, yo, I've never heard a Taylor Swift song in my life. The outlets are
I think I'm one of those people.
the outlets aren't the same. So okay, so the MTV is not playing videos all day and whatever the case may be, but you can hear music easier now than ever before. Right. And so
Well,
people
this is this is tapping right into the conversation yourself, me, and Pierre had over lunch yesterday,
absolutely,
where
absolutely.
I was just making the argument for not just in music, but in everything that's in our culture today, whether it's sneakers or it's clothing, it's fashion, and in this instance, it's music, where people are doing their absolute best to try to rewrite history and erase contributions by black and brown people. It's happening right in front of our eyes, and we fail to see it or pay attention to it. And it's happening by white media, by the machines that run this sort of media corporations, by the people that run these award shows. So yeah, the reason why Taylor is able to win these categories and the album of the year is because it's in a way to kind of downplay the contributions of people like a Beyonce or other artists of color who culturally contributed so much more to that year of music as a whole. We're
Well,
seeing it in,
they did it. They did it in a very smart way. Now, hear me out. Right. What they did was there was a
they
lot of
always do it in a very smart way.
there was a lot of first time winners in the R&B category. So a lot of these black women who are like relatively
New.
new in their career. They might not be young, but they might be new in their career or new to the international
Scissors and
stage.
hers and
There's
those people.
Money Long, Coco Jones, Victoria
Okay.
Monet, who had a great album.
Yep.
So these women are winning as they should, right?
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the Beyonce and the Taylor thing, I think Taylor is the last great white hope when it comes to music, right?
Yeah.
Like she's made the NFL 300 million and something crazy.
You
you know
just
what I'm
spoke
saying?
right into my next point that I was about to make, bro.
There's a lot of things surrounding her. It's like they're hanging on to her deeply. Like we need her to maintain this superiority because we can't let it go. Because after her, we have nobody, right? And I think it shows our reliance, people of color in the culture. We rely a bit too much on sports and entertainment, in my opinion, for validation. I tweeted it. I said, "Yo, if Beyonce loses, why don't we just boycott the Grammys next year? Or strategize and organize a boycott of the Grammys by all artists of color until things are recognized properly. No disrespect to Taylor's music, no disrespect to Taylor's fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my child is a child of color. That stuff does not play in our house. It'll come on on the suggested or the whatever radio we listen to. She's not trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that kids are kids, so you don't want to keep them away from things that can open up their palate or give them new experiences. She might enjoy it if she listens to it, but she just wants to hear music that she can identify with a little quicker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that, like you said, culturally, these institutions are trying to rewrite history. Well, we have to do a better job of not needing these institutions. If there's
we have to do a better job of not allowing them to do it.
But what do you need? What do you need their validation for in the first place?
Well, because it changes the course of history when white media and all these big publications are now saying the swag surf is Taylor Swift's song and she's made that dance what it is. And Travis Kelce invented the fade and haircuts. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, first of all,
allowing the New York Times to even say garbage along those lines,
right? I agree. But however, Travis Kelce knew that if he accepted that, he would not be able to run across the middle of that football field without somebody crushing him. Right?
And I'm not even blaming him. I'm actually not even blaming what's Shorty's name? Taylor Swift, because she's also sort of a pawn in this game.
I blame her. Because I blame her.
I blame her to a certain degree, but she also does not control when white publications and these machines that want to change the course of history decide that, we are going to call this dance now Taylor Swift's dance. She's the one who's brought this to the world. And Travis Kelce unknowingly has brought these haircuts, and every kid in America wants to get this haircut, and we're now learning of what a fade is.
But
Like,
let's be
how
honest.
ridiculous is that?
He spoke up.
He
She
did.
didn't.
He did
She
well,
didn't.
he was asked a question, right?
Nevertheless, he still answered it honestly and was
You
like,
have
"Yo,
to.
he has to. She
What
can
did he
she."
say? What did he say?
He was like, "Yo, absolutely, I absolutely did not invent the fade." He was like, "I
But
just."
if he go ahead. Sorry.
He was like, "I just went to the barbershop and asked for it." He's like, "I know what I want when I get my hair cut." He said, "But I absolutely." He was like, "I absolutely did not, and I don't want to be like associated with that thought that he
Well, if
invented it."
he was really defending, he should have come out and been like, "Yo, I was influenced by the black kids in my high school, my teammates in college or high school, whatever. I saw them getting haircuts like this, and I wanted to look like that as well because the shit is fly." Like, if you're really wanting to support, then that's what you should have said, and you should have said Happy Black History Month.
They're not gonna do that.
Travis has yet to say Happy Black History Month. Have you heard him say Happy Black History Month?
I don't. He might not even know that it's Black History Month. You know
so,
what I'm saying? Like,
so that's what I'm saying. So he's guilty.
football players are not the people I look to put on a pedestal. No athletes, no
No,
entertainers, unfortunately.
no, but
Um,
I mean, in all seriousness, we do see so these sort of attempts that happen to um to change like the perception of what I have seen with my own eyes in the past. You know what I mean? Like, it's so ridiculous when we were all here on January 6th and heard Trump go on and encouraging motherfuckers to storm the Capitol and start a ruckus. And there are politicians on the news saying, "Oh no, Trump never did that." Motherfucker, I was right there. I saw it happen in front of my eyes. What do you think?
bro,
I saw
I
it
mean,
happen
listen, it's not even so bad that we saw it happen in front of our eyes. It happened down the street.
down the street.
For
And
us,
you
it
are,
happened down the street.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, people really don't want you to comment on things that you literally witness with your own eyes. Like, nothing you can say will sway me to think otherwise, just because you are now getting hip to something, or you are doing your best to try to change the course of history by saying, this person made it popular, or Trump never said that, whatever it is. But I think this is what's happening, and it's a very, very dangerous thing that's happening.
I agree that it's very dangerous, but I also agree that it is now the time more so than ever to speak up when you see something that's going wrong. You have you have your social media. No, listen, nobody cares about the clothes you wear. Nobody cares about the food you cook. Nobody cares about none of that stuff. You have your
Yeah,
Twitter, your threads, which are basically micro blogs, thoughts expressed. Yo, speak up, tweet about it, say something about it. Don't be afraid.
yeah,
Nobody's gonna do anything crazy. Say it in a way where it's your opinion, and you know what I'm saying. Like, you gotta fight back. I mean, the colonizer way of doing things is only to benefit them and themselves. I truly think Black people and our Native American brothers and sisters, because they made the biggest mistake, one of the biggest mistakes of all time. But we got to learn to gatekeep some stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to learn to not
yeah.
share everything. It's not we are the world. It's not like it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, there
Not
are
everybody
things.
is welcome.
None of them are welcome. Truth be told, just because somebody has an affinity for basketball, or because they grew up eating fried chicken, and they don't get to come to the cookout and none of that craziness. Like, family, these these people are going to live their lives with or without you, right? And so you have to make it a point so that you're heard, and you're felt, and they understand your perspective on things. And again, we are just really nice people. Black people have welcomed everybody. You know what I'm
And
saying?
very
Like,
forgiving.
too forgiving.
Yeah,
You
to a
had
fault.
us, bro. Listen, my mom, who again the most incredible person on earth. We all love our mothers, but I really love my mom, right? And she just forgot. We were talking about last time I was back home. She forgot that we went to um, a plantation, and the plantation was the one where the guy was like told it wasn't even a joke. He made the statement about whistle while you work and the origin of whistle while you work. And I'm just like, yo, that changed my life. Like it made me look at a particular subset of people like you guys are absolutely disgusting. Because how am I supposed to just get along with somebody that makes me whistle so I'm not eating the food that came from the field outside? That's crazy. When they get invited to the cookout, they can't cook. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't think you need everybody's opinion or everybody's validation, especially as I
Yeah.
get older. Especially as I get older, I really start to feel that way. Like, move out the way. Like, you are in the way. I'm out here walking, doing my 1-2 thing every morning. I'm listening to Earn Your Leisure. I'm listening to our podcast, listening to whoever is, has something that I enjoy learning from. And, I tend to learn from people of color. You know what I'm saying? And I learn about what we're doing right. I learn about what we've done and are doing wrong. And for me, what we're doing wrong is continuing to seek validation from people who don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? Like they just don't care about this. Yeah, we'll give Beyonce every award, but the big body one.
Right.
We'll dangle that in front of her so she comes back every year. Jay, they had to honor you as the Dr. J Award because outside of that, you're not coming.
Yeah.
They didn't even have the Rock Nation brunch this year.
I also like that Jay got up and left as soon as he got his award with his family.
Let's roll.
Yeah, we're
And
done.
why and,
We
and why
came-
was
yeah.
and why was Little Uzi with his family? You know what I'm saying? Like it was a very
Well, that was Uzi, wasn't it? I was like, yo, why is Uzi walking out as well with, with
First of
his
all,
family?
what's her name? What's her name?
Little Ivy?
Yeah, she's like 5'11", right?
Oh,
So
she towers over Little Uzi. I thought at
towered.
first I was like, yo, maybe it's like one of her classmates or like a cousin, because he looked like he was smaller than she was.
Oh, that was Uzi. Yeah, no, he's like 5'4".
Well, she's clearly taller than 5'4".
Yeah. Shout
I
shout
mean,
out to
Hove is a tall guy. You know what I'm saying? And Beyonce is she's tall for a female as well. Um, I've seen Hove a couple of times in real life. Have you ever seen Hove in real life?
yeah, for sure. I called him.
Not like at the Capital One Arena where we're in nosebleed
Nah,
and he's down on the stage. Okay.
he walked through Hampton my first weekend at college.
Oh shit.
Like he was having a show. It was
Yeah.
Hove DMX and the Locks. It's my first weekend at college. I'm sick. Like physically I'm ill.
What year
Because
is that? 2001?
No, 98.
Oh, okay.
So this was before Hard Knock Life had officially dropped. Kid Capri was the DJ. Kid Capri was playing it on like acetate, like on like they burned it. Like it
Dub
wasn't
plate.
even a real piece
Yeah.
of dub plate.
Yeah.
And there was just this like, yo, we're gonna have a signing with the Locks at 5 o'clock on Saturday because they were there the whole weekend. It was
Yeah.
whatever the holiday, they was there the whole weekend, right? And like they like, if you ask dudes who are a little bit older than me, they're like, yeah, we used to see dude around Newport News. He would be in Norfolk a little bit, but like dude was down there. And that part of Virginia is where he did his thing. And so when the Locks had their signing, he pulled up.
Wow.
And we're just like, and then he walked like halfway through the campus, and the whole signing walked through the campus with dudes. And it was like, yo, it's like this nigga's one of the greatest niggas ever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think a couple years later, we're in the mall out in Norfolk, and they were like, yo, he's in the mall. People were like, yo, Jay-Z's in the mall. Because supposedly allegedly he dealt with a woman down there. He's at the mall with this woman, her kid or whatever. And so like we were below, but we looked up and saw him. And at that point, you just see mall security starts to go crazy, and they had to get him out of there and all that. But and I've seen him a couple more times. You know what I'm saying? But Hove is, at this point, he's a ghost. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He's you know somebody who they talk about. He's Kaiser Soze. You know what I mean?
yeah.
As much as he wanted to be Kaiser Soze in the video, he really, yeah. I think he said it a couple of times. Like, aside from these pictures, y'all would never really see me like that. It's like, I'm not mad at moving like that. You can assure your safety like that.
I think I've said it on here at some point, but um, the one time I saw Hove like pretty up close was a random night. I was at 4040 Club. This is when I was dating my now wife, and we went to New York, and it was like maybe like a Tuesday or something. And oh shit, just hit the mic. And two of my boys who still work for Hove actually, but they had just got a job to be the manager and the GM of the 4040 Club in New York when it had just opened up. Well, not just, but this was my first time going in there. Of course, I live down here, so I went up there to go check them. And my wife, her younger sister, her cousin, some other friends of mine, and we all went to 4040 at, let's call it a Tuesday night, because it was dead in there. We were the only people in there. So my man is, clearly showing us around, and, got us situated in one of the rooms that has a pool table in it, one of the VIP rooms. And then we kind of had to move. He's like, yo, we got to go to another spot. We were like in the main one, and we ended up going to another room that also was sort of the same kind of situation, but it was a little bit smaller, and they set us up over there. But Hove was coming in there to celebrate. He had just like bought a piece of the Brooklyn Nets, or whatever that deal was that he had with the Nets. Had just signed the paperwork on it, right? So they were in there celebrating, but he was in there with Beyonce, Memphis Bleak was there, Denzel Washington was there, Wesley Snipes was there, like a bunch of random people. Because I ended up going outside, and I was smoking cigarettes with Denzel, and then we went back inside and played some pool, and it was a wild night. But we were the only people in 4040 that night. So,
But you know what, and you say it's dead and it's a wild night. Like, that's just New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, the randomness of New York, where that could just happen on a Tuesday night in New York City. Like, nobody blinks an eye. That's the busiest little intersection where 4040 used to be. All that other stuff that's right there. Them people, like, they might look real quick, and they're gonna keep it moving because it's right there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. I mean, it's always. I remember Bleak was there too. It's like, man, there's Bleak, and like nobody cared. It's like Bleak's right there trying to like just being loud for no reason, loud and wrong for no reason. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Hampton University, man. It's the best place in the world. Patreon.com/What's a Podcast. We're gonna skip the Alton Mason thing because I got my information wrong right there. We will. Did you get a chance to look at the Secure DC bill?
Oh, I saw bits and pieces of it on Instagram.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like,
this is like the wild bill that the council members and the mayor want to pass, where like congregating in crowds of 2 or more could be considered illegal. Like, that's one of the stipulations in the bill. What else are they talking about in there? Some other wild shit too, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to bring back like fucking drug enforcement zones and all this crazy shit like from the 90s. I just don't understand it, to be honest. I don't know if that's what's gonna reduce the crime and the amount of violations happening across the city right now.
The DC Council advanced, and this is from the Washington Post. The DC Council advanced a massive public safety bill Tuesday after hours of debate, a collection of dozens of changes to criminal punishment and policing laws that a wary DC is turning to as an answer to its violent crime spike. 12 members voted in favor of the bill, with Councilmember Trayon White voting present. The nearly united front
What does that
illustrates.
mean? He voted against it or for it?
I I think it
Present.
just
What does
means
that
no.
mean?
I just think it means you don't. Your vote's not counted at all. Like you were there, like I'm present, but I don't have a yes or no.
Oh, he chose not to vote in the bill.
Yes, his vote was that I'm here, but I don't have.
What
I
the
don't
fuck
have.
is that? What kind of vote is that? Like if
I,
you're against it, just say I'm not for it.
I don't think.
I don't understand that.
I don't
Maybe
think being. I don't think being against it would have been a smart move politically this time. In this time,
right. So if you are, so you just choose not to vote for political status, whether that essentially, like I would rather respect you more if you just like, nah, I'm not banging with this for X, Y, and Z reasons, instead of just being like, I'm here, I just
100%.
choose not
But
to
again,
vote.
I think from a political space, it does not look good to vote against this because everybody else voted unanimously for it. So you're the one holdout, and unfortunately, they're gonna look and say, "Well, maybe you're the one holdout, and your district or your ward has the most crime in it."
Yeah, I
Because
don't get
that's
it.
that's how they're gonna bang. That's how they're gonna bang. You know what I'm saying? Um,
We need to
okay,
get Tony Lewis Jr. up here to explain some of
call him,
these
call him,
things to
call him,
us.
call him for next week. The nearly united front illustrate. Okay, the nearly united front illustrates the urgency council members have felt to respond to the outcry from residents and businesses about how rising crime has affected their lives, from rideshare and delivery drivers fearing carjackings to stores beset by theft. Public demands to turn the tide on crime reached a fever pitch as the district finished last year with the most homicides since 1997, and recent high-profile tragedies such as the fatal carjacking of a former DC elections official have only cranked up the heat on the council and mayor to act. So, so here are some of the things. The massive public safety bill is made up of dozens of changes to criminal punishment and policing laws, from cracking down on illegal gun possession to creating temporary drug-free zones. The bill comes as DC contends with soaring violent crime. The Sentencing Commission, uh, that doesn't really. I'm trying to find the specifics of what it is. The council took a final vote on a bill imposing harsher penalties on drivers caught speeding on camera, as well as repeat offenders. It allows the city to sue drivers with multiple violations wherever they live. It also allows the city to install speed control devices on cars of drivers who commit serious violations.
Yeah, I think we really need to get somebody to come explain this bill to us and the pros and cons of each one of these things, because I honestly am not well versed enough in some of these things to really see the strategy behind um, you know, something that I might think might be something I want, but there could be a strategy how that could backfire and negatively impact myself and my community. So I just don't know a lot of those things.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I mean, right now, so Councilmember Kenyon McDuffie said right now the bill would allow police to take DNA from someone who's been arrested, not convicted, or a person who's been
Without
charged,
consent.
just arrested. You think all the cases the Justice Department has that are never prosecuted, you're talking about a lot of DNA. In fact, McDuffie says up to 66% of felony arrests are never charged. So his amendment for police to collect DNA only after conviction past 9 of. So it's just a lot. I mean, there are drug-free zones, which are weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if that decriminalizes drug activity in these zones or whatever the case may be. But I just know that they've got to do something, and nothing is going to be perfect. Nobody's ever going to be happy. In cases like this, it's not for everybody to be happy. It's for people to save their jobs, essentially. And we understand that the people who are going to be prosecuted most harshly when it comes to these, not prosecuted, excuse me, who are going to be impacted most harshly when it comes to these bills are going to be black and brown people, right? And so we have to do the knowledge, and if you disagree, raise your voice and let them know. You feel me?
Yeah, I think the priorities of the Justice Department of the city might just be a little bit skewed because clearly there's a spike in violent crimes, and why are you not prosecuting 60 whatever the fuck percent of these violent crime offenders? And why are these charges just like going away? Like that's where it need to be. When you drop the hammer on some of these violent crime offenders for crimes that have committed, motherfuckers will pay attention.
Yeah, and I think if you hold the parents accountable to a degree, but
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
when you talk about like minors,
yeah,
yeah,
but
the
the thing
minor
with
shit
hold
is tricky. Yeah.
the thing with holding parents of the thing with holding parents accountable
Hmm.
is you may open Pandora's box because these parents are already going to be in some messed up situations, right?
Yeah.
In terms of drugs and just the living status already isn't a positive place.
Yeah.
So these kids are coming from these terrible neighborhoods and situations as it is. What is holding a parent accountable going to do if the parents already messed up themselves? You feel me? So I
Yeah.
think that I think that they're moving swiftly because they see that there's a need for them to act, but you have to move smart about it too because we don't want to be New York where you're on some stop and frisk. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you can't. You have to make it work so that people feel safe. And I think DC's done a bad job of arresting people, and then they're out in the morning. If you carjack me, you need to go to jail,
Yeah.
like immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's the problem is that people aren't being prosecuted hard enough. Like, yo, if you carjack somebody, just throw them in a county jail. Just throw them in a jail cell until they're. I mean, it's they don't want it to be an eye for an eye out here, but somebody's going to get shot trying to carjack, and we've already seen it happen. And so we need to continue to just like figure out ways for the public to be safe. So, what's the podcast? If you've done the knowledge, you've already done the donation. At this point, your $10 is it's ours. We appreciate it. Patreon.com/what's the podcast. Um, I was very happy
What
because
happened?
so people still unfortunately use the words underrated and underappreciated. They misuse them. I saw somebody say Redman was one of the most underrated rappers ever.
Who
I've
said that?
never.
How old were they?
They're a non-factor, but nevertheless, Redman is not underrated by any means. Everybody knows that Redman is dumb nice and has been for 30 years. I
Yeah,
think, do people underappreciate Redman and his body of work? Yes.
for sure.
And so I think seeing him pop up on the screen with J Lo at Saturday Night Live was incredible.
Tell me about that. What was he doing on Saturday Night Live with J Lo?
She was performing, he was performing.
They
You
were
know what I'm
performing
saying?
together, the same
Yeah,
song.
performance.
They've
Yeah,
done music together. I didn't even know that.
I think he's on her new single, I believe.
Okay,
So just to see
that's
him on,
crazy that J Lo has a song out now today,
let me double check so I'm
2024,
right. You know what I'm saying? So
with
hold on.
Redman. That's wild. Let me look that up. Oh man.
Rap legend joined. Rap legend Redman joined Jennifer Lopez on SNL. Hold on one second. Let me read it to you. Okay. Uh, Jennifer Lopez was not the only geriatric millennial icon on stage this week on Saturday Night Live. Like a minor god on a cloud, Redman materialized to rap on a remix of Lopez's "Get Can't Get Enough" that interpolated his 1998 hit "The Goodness."
And Lotto is also on that song.
Yeah, Lotto's trash, but whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy. I got to look at the performance. How did he do? He's always been an amazing performer, though.
Amazing performer, amazing performer. The Funk
I've
Doc,
always said
like
that. Funk Doc Spot. Him, Busta Rhymes, DMX. Yo, I don't know if anybody can step to them when it comes to performing. Live performances, I don't know.
I
People
think,
say meth, but I don't see
yeah,
meth. Even
meth is kind of fire. Yeah.
meth is kind of fire, but he's no Redman.
Well, those guys are like energy gods, right?
Yeah,
I always enjoyed somebody too, but I enjoyed like Black Thought. Like Black Thought to me was a tremendous performer because he just commanded the stage mic presence. But Busta Rhymes is the one.
yeah. Busta Rhymes.
Even
And now I also give it to Lupe Fiasco. Lupe,
Lupe to me is more Black Thought than he is Busta Rhymes.
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when Lupe is in his pocket
Nah,
on the right
he's
song,
unfuckwittable.
he's
Yeah,
you can't rock, you can't touch.
yeah, you
You
can't
can't
touch
touch.
him.
So shout out to Redman for being on. First of all, for being on the song, and also, you know what I'm saying, like figuring out a way to be on SNL. That's crazy because
That's tight.
he's probably in his mid 50s. She's more than likely in her mid 50s. Um, and so they're both up there getting a crack. Like 50 is not what it used to be, bro. You're still performing new songs. That's kind of
I
crazy.
know.
You know what I'm saying?
It it is, and it's also isn't what it used to be because um 50 is still old, bro. He old as shit. But I think we kind of say that maybe because we're also knocking on 50, but to the kids, it's old as fuck.
Yeah, but our 50 is not our parents'
It's
50.
not our parents' 50. Sure. I
You know what I'm
agree
saying?
with that
So
100%.
so like you can be, 45 plus and still, you know,
Yeah.
30 years ago you're like, damn, that's old. But now you're like, yo,
Go back
I'm
and find a picture of your parents at 50 or whatever, 45, and compare that to how you look at 45. Do you think they're going to look a lot older?
yeah, absolutely.
Why is that? What the fuck changed?
You personally don't dress like a 45-year-old, right? Your dress is just clean, brand names. It's timeless, right?
Mhm.
Our parents
Yeah.
didn't grow up in a time where you dressed in a timeless manner. It was like a capsule. It was of the moment. It looked like 19 whatever. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
in that respect, the clothes are going to age them, maybe the cars, maybe the etc. But if you're wearing Air Force Ones, jeans, uh, North Face jacket, and a whatever T-shirt, that's timeless. That could be 20 years ago. That could be 20 years from now. So you don't look as, you know what I'm saying? You don't look
Yeah.
as just like of the moment, I guess, is what I'm saying. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? I still got a few years till 50 though, so I'm good. I'm in a good
Yeah.
space.
You know what it also is? I think at 50, um, I was also, when my parents turned 50, I was a lot older because they had me young, right? So I must have been, I don't know how old I was, but I was maybe in high school or on my way out of high school by the time my dad turned 50. And I still have relatively young kids, and I'm in my mid 40s. You know what I'm saying? So I think because if I had like a 20-year-old, by the time I hit 50, I might feel a lot older as well. But because I have younger kids, I also feel somewhat, I don't feel younger, but maybe I'm just, I don't even think about it really.
But the 50 thing also isn't like a Death Wish. Like we still have fun. We're still talking about Hove. We're still
Yeah,
doing we're still doing things that keep us young and keep us fresh, whether it's going to yoga or hanging out, talking in the shop, or just whatever the case may be. Our aesthetic and our way of moving is that of a younger person, right?
for sure.
It's not boardroom to the steakhouse and then golf all day Saturday morning. And no, it's like we're still in the streets to a degree, you know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah,
moving, feeling good, seeing countries, going other places, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
patreon.com/what's a podcast. um Gillian Wallow did what now? Gillian Wallow, they get the prime DT Max Air 96s.
man. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, Air Max 96s, the DT Max Air 96, which is going to be coming back out. If you remember the Deion Sanders sneakers from 1996, these are those. And Gillian Wallow were gifted those by Coach Prime. And I'm hating a little bit. No, I'm not hating. I'm joking. I really, I've always been a big fan of the Dion's. And I'm happy to see that he's resolved that issue with Nike, and whatever problems they had, they were able to figure it out. I'm happy to see a retro of those sneakers coming out. It's a fire sneaker. Did you ever fuck with the Dion's back in the day? Was it a
Um,
thing in Arizona?
yeah. When Dion had it was maybe like the Niners colored joints, the white and
Yeah,
red with the little strap
yeah,
across that was gold.
yeah,
AZ went crazy. They had a black version of that as well. That AZ went crazy.
yeah. The black with the
Um,
gold.
yeah. AZ,
That
Arizona
that
was
one
all.
was crazy. Yeah, yeah,
Arizona was heavy because remember he played for the Falcons, but then he ended up kind of going west. He went to the Niners, and then he went to the Cowboys. So he was all Dion's were super heavy, and not even the cleats, like just the shoes. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
They're
Like,
just the shoes, but they
yeah,
also looked at in cleats version too.
hmm
And I think they're gonna do these ones probably also in a cleats version. It's tight that they didn't have to change the colorway, but they already kind of go along with the Colorado uniform, which he's the coach of. So I think that's tight. So what I mean, it's somewhere in the beginning it was written that they were going to drop when he was going to be with University of Colorado. What's the name of the school? Colorado State. Where's he at?
University of Colorado.
Okay, shout out to them and shout out to Coach Prime, of course. And I'm happy to see that these sneakers are coming back. I would like to see some more Dion's come back. That black and gold pair that you're talking about, oof, god damn, that motherfucker drops. It's
Tough,
over.
tough.
4 pairs easily.
One of the
Yeah,
most incredible shoe releases of the last year was Wells Bonner times Adidas Sambas. Lord knows I loved all of the four that we saw. There's
yeah.
been two more that have dropped.
Okay,
Um,
they're already out.
and actually, I love this. So we spoke about Wells Bonner before we go into it. We spoke about Wells Bonner last episode. We had finally seen what she looked like. She kind of looked like a frail white woman, but she's mixed.
You think
But
she looks white?
yes, I feel like her dad's the white guy in the relationship. But nevertheless, um,
Okay.
um, hold on. Oh, wait, no. Okay, so I didn't know that she describes her line as a label that brings an Afro-Atlantic perspective to European luxury. Love it.
Yeah, because
Love
she's
it.
she's part Jamaican, I believe.
Jamaican. Yeah,
Jamaican
yeah.
and Irish, or Jamaican and English. She also did Jamaica national uniform, soccer uniform, which is fire. And I have that one as well. But yeah, I didn't think she looked as white as you might have thought. I think she just looked like a
Martine.
regular
Well, I think
mixed
Martine
chick.
Rose is the Jamaican one though, right? And she's mixed as well.
both might be Jamaican.
I think they're
I don't think
maybe,
I've
but
ever seen what Martine Rose looked like.
Martina, I just saw her this past week. She just looks like a regular black woman.
Oh, okay. Shout out
Grace
to her. Okay.
Rose Bonner looks like she looks a little more
Yeah,
mixed, but
yeah.
nevertheless,
She looks
uh,
mixed. Yeah.
um, the new star studded pack from Grace Rose Bonner, individually number only 750 pair. So they're saying that they're going to be very tough to get, but I've loved all of them that have come out so far.
Me
Man,
too.
she is
She
6 out
hasn't
of 6.
missed. She hasn't missed on the
Yeah, she
Sambas.
hasn't missed on the Sambas, man,
Yeah.
which is tough because some people they overdo it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, and she's put out a lot of, but she hasn't missed.
she hasn't missed. So
Would you
uh,
like to see her go to another Adidas silhouette?
no,
Me neither.
I,
Yeah,
I, I
I don't know if I really care to see her on another Adidas
boom,
silhouette. I
exactly.
just don't know if there is one out there that can make a statement for her. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
think when you're doing these collaborations, the intent of it, if I was to do one, is I wanna stamp on it. You know what I'm saying? I wanna put my name on it and make sure that motherfuckers remember that joint. And I think it's doing well with the Thambas.
Yeah, no, the Sambas are getting the job done. Like you have the hype, you have people trying to get them. Now you have the limited edition of them, 750 only. I mean, come on, like
Yeah,
it's done. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I think that sneakers are in a good place to start the year. Obviously, we saw that the Brazils just dropped this past weekend, sold out instantly on sneakers. The Kobe. So this is one thing that I wanted to ask you about because I know you said your favorite Kobe's are the Kobe Protros,
yeah,
but I think they release a Protro version in every number because there's a Protro 4, and then the
there is.
ones, and then if you look at the cover of Sneaker News,
Yeah,
there's a Kobe 8 Protro.
that's the one that's coming out, right?
Yeah, but
This
so all I'm
weekend.
saying,
Yeah, which ones are the ones
relatively
that I
speaking,
really like? Let me see. I'll look it up right now.
yeah.
They're they are, let's see here. Oh, it's actually the Zoom Kobe 1 Protro. So
That's
it's the Kobe
interesting.
1.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. That's my favorite model when it comes to the Kobe's.
Uh, Close to zero, patreon.com. What's the podcast? We now have clarity on Abdul's favorite. We're now going to ask Abdul, what is Abdul watching?
I got done finally with Homeland. And I have now started Raising Canaan. I'm on episode 2 of season 3. And yeah, listen, it's starting to pick up. Joey Badass is a good actor, man. You know, for coming, he's another one who seamlessly made that transition from being a recording artist and going into becoming an actor and is doing it at a very high level. So shout out to Joey Badass. He's great in the show, man. I see him playing this into a lot of other different roles that, you know what I'm saying, could be a little bit more different from what he might traditionally be used to.
He's got 25 years in front of him, so he'll be great.
He's young as fuck. Yeah. He's not even 30. He's
That's what I'm saying.
early 20s.
He got like 25 years in front of him.
Yeah, dog. He's doing his thing, man, crushing it. And after that, I am going to be watching another show on Stars called Hightown, which has a new season out as well. As well as I'm gonna True Detective is on right now, the new season. I'm gonna wait for that to finish up so I can binge watch the whole thing. Yeah, I got a few things lined up, man. Along with what else? What's the other joint? Fargo. I gotta catch up on that as well and finish that season out as well. Yeah, you know, here and there. Uh, I'm going to. Yeah, that's about it. I watch this tennis reality show on Netflix. I forgot the name of it, but our guy Francis Tiafo is also on that show. Let me see the name of it. Breakpoint is the name of it, and they just put out some new episodes of that a few weeks back. So, um, I'm not a tennis fan, but I am a Francis Tiafo fan. He's also a Sierra Leonean kid and from the DMV. So, you know, we gotta show him love. I want to check that show out as well.
Gotta do it. New music, man. Listen, man. Hit Boy continues to go crazy. He put out a 9-song album with this kid named Russell from the Bay Area, a very independent artist who's been crushing it for the past couple of years. Hit Boy also he has the EP with Alchemist, which is crazy. The music with his dad is still crushing it, but the uh, the Russell project is really good. Give it a listen.
Mm.
And obviously give us a follow, man. Patreon.com/What's the podcast. We'll be making the free tier a little bit more, uh, sensational for you guys. But the $5 to get you right, B. $5 holla is what they used to call it in the streets. So, we shout out to our guy, always available. Hashtag Shooter Eddie. He is out there living his best life.
Living his best life.
Shout out to my man, Don't Charge Abdul.
Yeah.
DJ Jerome.
I'm gonna be in New York, man. I'm gonna be in New York on Friday and Saturday. If you see me in the streets, holla at me.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'll be back home in Scottsdale this weekend. So if you see me, you didn't see me. All right. It's a beautiful thing. Patreon.com/What's the podcast. We are out. Peace.
Peace.